In South Yorkshire, Elhanna and Ricky Butler were devoted owners of an American Akita named Keola. This breed, originally from Japan, was known for its exceptional hunting skills, having been bred to track deer and bear. With its sharp sense of smell and acute hearing, Keola was a remarkable example of the breed's natural talents. Akitas are also known for their dominant personalities, but it was this very trait that would unexpectedly play a crucial role in saving lives. To fully understand this, we need to go back to when Elhanna and Ricky first became dog parents and the series of events that unfolded leading up to a life-saving moment. The Butlers had enjoyed several years of being dog parents when they received the thrilling news that Elhanna was expecting. Overjoyed by the prospect of expanding their family, Ricky embraced his new role as a supportive partner, pampering Elhanna with foot rubs and catering to her cravings. They eagerly included Keola in their celebrations, excited about the new addition to their family. However, their blissful anticipation took a strange turn when Keola's behavior began to change. Elhanna was 4 months pregnant, visibly showing, when Keola started exhibiting unusual behavior, sporadically barking at her. This was a stark contrast to the well-trained, docile dog they knew. Keola had always been calm and agreeable, rarely reacting in such a manner. Initially, Elhanna and Ricky dismissed this behavior as possibly a result of Keola's adjustment to the changes in their lives. They assumed the dog might be feeling neglected or anxious and attempted to reassure Keola with extra attention and treats. Unbeknownst to them, Keola's behavior was not simply a response to feeling left out, but rather an instinctive reaction to a serious underlying issue. Despite their focus on baby preparations, Elhanna's pregnancy appeared to progress normally. She diligently attended her gynecologist appointments, ensuring that all scans were conducted, and she followed her prenatal regimen meticulously. Her doctor had consistently assured her that everything was routine and the baby was developing as expected. Elhanna took every precaution to maintain her health and that of her unborn child. As the months passed, Keola's anxiety seemed to escalate. The dog's behavior grew increasingly concerned as Elhanna's pregnancy advanced. Keola would whimper and become visibly agitated whenever Elhanna approached, particularly around her growing belly. The once reassuring signs of a normal pregnancy seemed to intensify Keola's distress, making the dog's warnings even more pronounced. Elhanna and Ricky, however, continued to believe that Keola's behavior was simply a reaction to the changes in their lives. They took Keola to the veterinarian, worried that something might be wrong with their beloved pet. To their relief, the vet assured them that Keola was in good health and that behavioral changes in dogs could often occur when their owners experienced significant life changes. Despite these reassurances, Keola's instincts were not to be dismissed lightly. The dog's persistent unease and her heightened sense of anxiety were indicators of something more serious, although Elhanna and Ricky did not yet realize the full extent of the danger. As time went on, the Butlers' focus remained on their forthcoming baby, with little attention given to the signs that Keola was so desperately trying to communicate. It was only later that they would come to understand the depth of Keola's concern and how crucial her instincts had been in alerting them to a potential threat. In the end, the Butlers' story is a powerful reminder of the deep bond between humans and their pets. Keola's behavior, driven by her innate protective instincts, highlights the extraordinary ways in which animals can sense and respond to dangers that might elude human perception. As Elhanna's pregnancy progressed, the changes in her body became more pronounced. Her once agile movements were now hindered by swelling in her ankles and feet, making walking, sitting, and sleeping increasingly uncomfortable. This pain was unlike the usual pregnancy discomforts and seemed to deepen with each passing day. No matter how many times Ricky massaged her back or offered soothing words, the pain only intensified. Concerned, the first-time parents-to-be took immediate action and contacted their doctor for reassurance. Elhanna described her symptoms, emphasizing that this pain felt distinctly different from the usual growing pains associated with pregnancy. The doctor listened attentively but reassured Alhana that the pain was not a cause for concern. She reminded them that a scan was scheduled for the following day, which would provide a clearer picture of the situation. Until then, all Alhana needed to do was rest. The next day, the scan confirmed that everything was progressing as expected. The doctor explained that Alhana's body was simply adjusting to the upcoming childbirth and that the new hormones could cause unusual pains and sensations. This was a normal part of the process, and Alhana was advised to continue resting and preparing for the baby's arrival. Feeling reassured, Ricky and Alhana returned home with a sense of relief. However, their relief was short-lived. Upon opening the door, they were met with a startling sight. Keola, their American Akita, was agitated and barking incessantly at Alhana. The dog's behavior was far from typical. Keola, who had always been calm and collected, now seemed to perceive Alhana as an intruder. Ricky attempted to calm Keola, but the dog's focus remained solely on Alhana. Keola sniffed her repeatedly and stared at her with an intensity that made Alhana uncomfortable. Reflecting on the experience, Alhana described how Keola's behavior had frightened her. Keola just sat staring at me so intently that it really scared me. The couple's friends and family also noticed Keola's unusual behavior. Whenever someone visited, the dog's distress was evident. Although no one could pinpoint the exact cause of Keola's agitation, many suggested that the dog might be sensing something amiss. Alhana took this feedback seriously and shared Keola's behavior online, where her friends voiced concerns that perhaps there was a deeper issue requiring a more thorough health checkup. As Alhana neared the end of her pregnancy, she focused on nesting and preparing for the arrival of her baby. However, Keola's anxiety seemed to increase. The dog would frequently cry and nudge Alhana awake at night, leading Ricky to keep Keola outside the bedroom to allow Alhana some much-needed rest. The persistent behavior led Alhana and Ricky to reconsider the possibility that Keola might be sensing an unseen danger. The situation had reached a point where the couple couldn't ignore the unsettling coincidence between Keola's behavior and Alhana's symptoms. With each passing day, the intensity of Keola's distress grew, and the couple felt increasingly unsettled by their pet's alarming reactions. The once clear lines of reassurance from medical professionals seemed blurred by the emotional weight of their dog's persistent warnings. In the midst of their uncertainty, Alhana and Ricky decided to conduct their own research and seek additional opinions. They reached out to specialists and discussed their concerns with various experts, hoping to uncover any potential issues that might have been overlooked. The couple's dedication to their unborn child and their pet's well-being drove them to explore every possible angle, determined to ensure that nothing jeopardized their family's health. As the days went by, Alhana's discomfort and Keola's behavior remained intertwined, creating a complex emotional landscape for the expectant couple. They grappled with their conflicting feelings of trust in medical advice and the growing unease stemming from Keola's persistent warnings. Ultimately, Alhana and Ricky faced a challenging period of uncertainty, navigating between their faith in medical assurances and their pet's instinctive alerts. The morning after a particularly restless night, Alhana felt compelled to call her doctor again. Overwhelmed by exhaustion and paranoia triggered by Keola's alarming behavior, she scheduled an unscheduled ultrasound. Alhana needed confirmation that everything was all right, as the previous night's events had left her deeply unsettled. Panic set in as Alhana demanded answers, but the technician could only tell her that she needed to see her doctor immediately. Before Alhana could even call Ricky, who was at home trying to comfort an anxious Keola, she was swiftly admitted to the intensive care unit. The gravity of the situation became painfully clear. Alhana was on the brink of death. Alhana later reflected on the severity of her condition, saying, "It was killing me. The doctors told me that if I had waited any longer, I would have died, more than likely." Despite the dire circumstances, Elhanna underwent an intense course of treatment. Miraculously, she was able to continue her pregnancy and eventually give birth to a healthy baby boy named Lincoln Butler. As she held Lincoln for the first time, Elhanna felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude toward Keola. The loyal and protective dog had been instrumental in alerting them to a danger that the medical professionals had not yet identified. Without Keola's persistent warnings, both Elhanna and her baby might not have survived. The couple was profoundly moved by Keola's heroism and felt deeply indebted to their pet. People from all over were inspired by Keola's instincts and determination. Many urged Elhanna and Ricky to reward their brave dog with treats and affection, acknowledging that Keola's actions deserved every bit of praise and more. The story of Keola's remarkable ability to sense danger before it was detectable by modern medicine resonated with thousands, highlighting the profound bond between humans and their animals.